Hi everyone, I hope we're all doing really well. So today I want to talk to you about two major things. This video will probably be about half an hour long, but they are really important things. Um, a lot of confirmation going on for this watch period that we are all looking at, so I'm gonna get right into it. Okay, so now we all know about this Revelation 12 sign that is taking place within this weekend into next week. And I'm sure a lot of you have been paying attention to hourly watches, daily video updates about all the stars and things that are coming out of the Revelation 12 sign. I have lost track with how much is actually coming out of that sign to such a point where I'm just like mind blown. I even tested it out myself on the app to see if there are any actual like reoccurrences of all of these things the same time, and there isn't. So for example, I looked at the star Yeshua, I looked at the 666, I looked at Treshnikov, I looked at the child, and although these particular individual stars may enter into Virgo again in the future, they will never come into Virgo again all at once at the same time. That is why this is such a great sign, because all of these things that are coming out of Virgo are happening all at once in this period of time and never again. That is why the Revelation 12 speaks of a great sign that appeared in heaven, because there are just so many things that are happening within the Virgo constellation that we just actually, like, we can't keep up with how much is happening. And it won't happen ever again. So upon speaking about that, I have been wanting my own confirmations because I've been making videos for the past 10 years, um, talking about God, talking about the end times, talking about the rapture. Um, we're always looking at watch dates and, well, not necessarily watch dates, but more like watch periods, because there are events that happened in the past that were high watch periods, and the Lord says that um, if we don't watch, then He will come upon us as a thief in the night. So He says, if blessed is he who ends up watching in the first, second, third, or fourth, and whom the master finds waiting for his return. So yeah, I feel like this could be our final last watch. I've been browsing TikTok and seeing YouTube videos, and everyone that I've come across strongly feel that this could be the final watch, because not only of the Revelation 12 sign, but because of the amount of other things that are physically happening on the earth that confirm the period of time that we are living in, which I'll speak to you later. First of all, I want to address the confirmations that I have personally received, because I know that the Revelation 12 sign is happening, but I wanted some personal confirmation that the rapture could happen within this time frame that we are looking at. And we cannot necessarily pinpoint a day on when the rapture will happen, because there just simply is no way to know. We cannot know the day or the hour, because that is the mystery to God that only He knows. But we will know the time because of the events that take place in the heavens and on the earth. So I wanted more confirmation on the rapture, because I just wanted more confirmation, like, could this actually be it? I think with the amount of things that came out of the Revelation 12 sign, it became so surreal that I was actually like, wait, this is like way too much. I need to just kind of like take a step back a little bit, because so much came out of it. It's really difficult to keep up. So I think the man from Hourly Watch is sincerely blessed to have been able to find all those things. So I personally wanted my own confirmation, so I asked God if he can show me signs, if he can show me, give me dreams, give me visions, just show me so that I can believe more that the rapture is going to happen. Like, I do believe the rapture is going to happen, but I want to believe that it's going to that I want to believe more that it's going to happen in this time period that we're looking at. And so about 2 weeks ago, I became really sick. I was at university and I had to leave home. I needed to leave university early because I was feeling really sick. It's like a bucket of sickness was just dumped onto me, and I got all these symptoms in one day. And it is not COVID, none of that. I just got really sick. And I within that week, I was bedridden. So I was just in bed. I had chills, I had fever, I had cough, I had sneezing, I had the whole lot. And so I was in bed, and one particular night, the Lord gave me a vision. And in that vision, I saw myself standing on the right side of Jesus. And Jesus was wearing a white robe with a sash. And I was looking at both him and I from the back. So my perspective was not kind of like next to Jesus, but rather my perspective was from behind Jesus and I, which was quite interesting. But what happened was, both Jesus and I, we were looking straight ahead into this massive, and I mean we're looking into this massive, massive golden city. And we were extremely far away from this golden city, but even at such a far distance, you could tell that it was so huge. And you knew that it was just huge by the scale of it, and you could see the entirety of the city. So we saw the entirety of the city surrounded by this like purplish blue navy colored clouds all around this golden city. And as I was standing by next to Jesus looking, we were both looking at the city, and as we were just staring and looking at the city, I got this sense, I just got the sense like Jesus was still. He was still, I was still, and we just looked at the city, and he just looked at it and looked at it. And I got this sense from him that he was saying that it is finished. It is completed. It is ready. And this takes me back to the verse when he says, I go to prepare a place for you in heaven, in my Father's house. And when I saw that vision of Jesus just looking into the golden city, looking at this golden city, it's like he looked at his finished work. He looked at it as if it was complete, that as if it's ready for his bride. It's ready for the church. I am a design student, and we usually make like models of like buildings and things like that. And after we've completed making these models of these buildings, you put it on a plinth or you put it on a high table, and you just take a step back and you just look at the hard work that you've put into this model, and you just look at it and you feel pleased, you feel happy with what you see. And that is exactly the sense that I feel like Jesus was having in that moment when he looked at that entire city. I feel like Jesus was saying, it's ready, it's finished, it's complete. And so that's the vision that I had. And a couple of days later, I had a dream. And what basically happened was, I dreamt that we were I was with my family in our previous house, and we were having a massive feast. And it's very weird because my family, we don't have massive feasts like this. It's really strange. But the even weirder thing was, 2 of my high school teachers were in that house joining us with that feast. And what is significant about this is it was a man and a woman. They were both from my high school. I finished my high school back in 2012, but I left that particular school at 2011. And what I find particularly interesting is the woman in my dream who was from my high school. Her surname in Afrikaans, because she has an Afrikaans surname, so her surname is Van Niekerk. And so I find that really interesting because kerk, which is in her surname, is a translation in Afrikaans. If you translate it, it means church. So kerk means church. And the other man that was in my dream, his surname is Murray, and that sounds really, really similar to Mary. And so this is what was happening in my dream. There was a feast, there was a big feast that was happening. Um, and my high school teachers, whom, like, for me to even think about them in my waking life will never happen. Like, why would I need to think of them, let alone dream about them? So I feel like this dream has some significance, and I feel like the significance behind this dream is Jesus is saying that the wedding feast is ready. It's almost there. The wedding, it's a wedding feast between the church. It's the wedding celebration between Jesus and the bride. Jesus is going to marry his bride. So that's the dream that I had, and that is a pretty significant dream that I had. So as these confirmations kept coming to me, I started believing more and more and more that the rapture could actually happen really soon, but possibly even in this high watch period that we are all looking at right now. And so I had another dream. But before I had that dream, I said, Jesus, I really want to have a dream where I said, just show me some of my relatives that are in heaven. Show me, maybe you can confirm to me by showing me my granddad on my mom's side, or my granddad on my dad's side, or my grandmom on my dad's side. And I even asked for if he could show me my siblings, because my mom had miscarriages back in the day. And so I even asked if he can show me anyone, this girl that I used to know back in the year 2000, who also passed away. We were friends back then. And so I was like, just show me someone, preferably a relative, as confirmation that the rapture is just around the corner. And so you won't believe it, I had a dream, and in my dream I did not see anyone that I asked God to show me. Instead, God showed me someone who I completely forgot about, someone who literally has not been on my mind in probably all my life, because I never knew this person. This person died when I was a baby, and he is my uncle. So for Jesus to show me a relative of mine that I didn't even realize, like I realized that I had, but I didn't even think about him, because I have no memory of him. I don't know him. I only know him from photos. And to see him appear in my dream after I asked Jesus to show me a relative, and then in my dream he was speaking about his wife who passed away last year, I was just like, wow. It was just wow. So his wife which is my auntie, which died last year. So yeah, I was just like, I was mind blown. I was like, honestly, like, wow, him of all people. Like, I don't even know him at all. I just know about him through photos, and I haven't spoken of him since I was like maybe a child. And for him to appear in my dream just like that is definitely, that definitely the handiwork of God, honestly. And so all of these signs and things, they keep popping up. And so I said last night, I was like, you know what, Lord Jesus, I'm about 90% convinced that the rapture can happen within this watch period that we are looking in now. And I was like, but I still want more confirmation. I don't know why. Like, I've been receiving so much confirmation and dreams and visions, and there are things happening on the earth, and there's signs in the heavens, and yet still I want more confirmation. And I just said, Lord Jesus, tomorrow I'm going to make a video. I'm going to make a video talking about the dreams and visions that I've had. But I would like to talk about a dream that I want to have tonight, which was last night. I want to include that in my video. And so I said, Lord Jesus, I would love to have a dream about the rapture as confirmation. Please give me a dream about the rapture. And so last night I slept. I had terrible sleep, by the way. But I did have a dream last night that I was in the classroom of what seemed to be like a kindergarten classroom, like an early childhood center. And there were children all over. And it was a really short dream. But suddenly, there were these people, like in the center of the room, and they just started lifting up, really slowly. They just started lifting up, just like that. And other people inside the room were looking at the people floating up in disbelief. They were just like, they were in disbelief of what was happening in that moment. And that was my dream. That was my rapture dream. So to me, like, I've never had an on-demand kind of like rapture dream before. I've never had a dream where I ask God to show me something in that night and then I receive it. This was the first time. It's like he genuinely heard my prayer, which is why I was able to include it in this video. So I've been receiving all these dreams, all these visions, and the confirmations just come and they come and they come and they come. And I encourage you, if you're still on the fence of wondering whether the rapture will happen or not anytime soon, particularly in this period that we are all watching right now, then ask Jesus to show you while there is still time. Ask him to convince you. I mean, you don't need to be convinced because the rapture will happen whether people are convinced or not. But if you really want that own personal kind of like confirmation, then just ask him. I believe that he will show you. He says that whatever you ask for in prayer, believing, you will receive. So go for it and ask Jesus for confirmation. Now, the next thing that I want to talk to you about is Nishimura. So I'm going to be using the Stellarium app, and I'm going to be talking about Nishimura because there was a Nishimura in 2021, and there is a Nishimura in right now, and both of them, well, the first one particularly affected the entire world, and I'll show you exactly how, and I'm going to show you that significance because you will not believe it. It's mind-blowing. You will not believe what I'm going to show you. The signs were there all along. The thing is, we did not know about this because we didn't look at the Revelation 12 sign 2 years ago. So I'm going to head into my app and I'm going to explain to you and show you some mind-breaking news. Okay, hold on. Okay, so here I am in the Stellarium app. Now, as many of you may or may not know, there was a Nishimura comet that happened in 2021. And it is the only one that has happened since. So, let me show you that quickly. So, actually, before I do that, let me just change the date. I'm going to change the date so that I can show you the starting point of Nishimura 2021. Okay, so Nishimura 2021. What's happening? Oh, here we go. Okay. So, here we can see Nishimura 2021 is in the constellation of what seems to look like the Native Americans and the Microscopium. Now, if we look really closely, so I am in the year 1985, and it stays in this constellation. It just stays here. This is where it starts. So it starts, if you look closely in the perimeter, so I'm currently in 1985. Like, even if I go all the way back, it's still going to stay here. So currently, in 1985, Nishimura 2021 was already in the perimeter of the constellation Microscopium. I'm going to show you why that is extremely significant. Now, so Nishimura 2021 was only discovered in the year 2021, which is why it has that particular name. And I'm just going to show you now. I'm just going to... before I show you, let me just repin it. Nishimura 2021. Okay, there it is. I'm going to show you exactly what has happened with Nishimura 2021 and how it has affected the entire world. Okay, so as you can see, it is in the constellation of the microscope. Okay, as we start moving through time, it is still in the same constellation. 1991, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm just going to speed things up a little bit. And then it starts moving out of the microscope constellation, and it starts moving into this constellation. As you can see, it is speeding up. 2016, 17. Okay, I went a little bit too quickly. Let me just reverse. Okay, so here we are in 2020. Now we know what happened in 2020. Okay, in 2020 was the year the lockdowns happened, and all that rubbish happened. Okay, but what do we know happened in 2021? Now remember that 2021 was the year when this particular comet was first discovered. So 2021 was the year when we were all mandated to take the shot in our arm in order to work, in order to go to school, in order to do things in our daily life. Okay? That is what we needed. That is what happened in the year 2021. Now I'm going to show you why this Nishimura is so significant and relates to that shot. As you can see, I'm going to use the dates. So Nishimura is basically moving, speeding through the constellations, and then it slows down and it comes to a rest. So it's going through Virgo, and then here you see it's slowing down. It's slowing down. And it's slowing down, and it's pretty much ending up in Scorpion, in the Scorpion constellation. Now, that is incredibly significant. Watch how Nishimura 2021 is constantly moving in and out of the Scorpion constellation. And then watch what happens. I'm going to move quickly. I am going to move quickly using the month, and you're going to see how Nishimura is hovering in and around the tail of the Scorpion, the sting. There's Nishimura. As you can see, it's just hovering in and around the Scorpion tail, constantly moving in and out, in and out, in and out. Now, I'm going to show you something even more significant. Before I tell you about that, I want you to think about this. We all know, well, most of us know, if you don't know, about the died suddenly thing that has been happening in the last year and the year before. Like, type it up on Google, search died suddenly. You'll notice that people are just dying suddenly. They're dying suddenly. News articles, this person died suddenly. These people just die suddenly. Type it in Google and you'll see the entire list. Basically, it is these people have died suddenly because they have all died from a heart disease which was caused by the shot. And I know this because when I took my second shot, I was this close to death. It wasn't until I called upon Jesus to heal me that he healed me that very night, because my heart was racing, it was pumping, I felt sick, I felt ill, I felt unwell. I knew that if Jesus didn't heal me, if Jesus was not going to heal me, I would have died from that shot. I would have died from a heart disease because my heart was giving in, and it was Jesus that healed me. He healed me that very night when I cried out to him and I asked him to please heal me. So here we are, Nishimura, 2021, hovering in and out of the Scorpion, the sting of death. And it hovers in and around 3 constellations. I'm going to show you the significance. So here we have the Scorpion tail, as you can see, the Scorpion constellation. Here is Nishimura, which has been going in a circle, including Corona Australis. So is that a huge coincidence? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a huge as sign, because it's a clear sign and indication to me that Nishimura 2021 is a sign that affected the entire world. Every single person had to go through this. They had to go through this mandate. This Nishimura 2021 is the sting of death. The sting that was made in the lab, that was made in the microscope. It was originated from the constellation of the microscopium. I mean, I can't make these things up. The signs are literally here. And the thing is, we didn't know about this. We didn't know that this sign actually pointed to this thing that affected the entire world. And here we have it. And now we are preparing for the second Nishimura, the second thing which is going to affect the entire world. Let me show you. Here we have Nishimura. Actually, let me first just go back to our current time period. Actually, let me go back into the past so I can show you where exactly Nishimura 2023 starts. Okay. So, Nishimura 2023. Here we go. So, Nishimura 2023 starts in the constellation of the dog, which is the Canis. Major Canis. So it doesn't matter how far back you go, this Nishimura stays in this constellation. Now, I'm going to speak in a couple of different ways here. I want you to see this dog, right? You see this dog here. You see Nishimura. Now, what happens when you throw a ball for a dog? When you throw a ball and the dog will go after it, the dog will go fetch the ball, and the dog will bring the ball back to the master, right? So think about that. I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind. Now, let me show you how significant this Nishimura 2023 is. Okay, so here we are in the year 1984. Like, I can go back even further, but I won't to save time. Let me just repin Nishimura. Here we go. Okay, so now we're gonna go forward into time, and you're gonna see it's just staying there as the years go by. It's just staying there, it's just staying there, it's just staying there. 1990. Okay. And eventually it's slowly gonna start moving out of the constellation of the Canis Major, the dog constellation. 23, 25, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, there we go. So 17, 18, 19, 20, it starts to gain momentum, and it's starting to move out of the constellation of the dog. Okay, now watch carefully what happens. Oh, I went way too quickly. Okay, this is what happens with Nishimura. It's still for a very, very, very long period of time, and then all of a sudden it will start to slowly move, and then at one particular point it speeds up so incredibly fast. It shoots through the constellations. It shoots right through the constellations for a sign. Okay, so look carefully. So here we are, 2022. I'm going to go, maybe I should use the date so you can see just how it's going to move. Okay, so watch how slowly it's moving, right? And then pay attention to how quickly it's going to move, and you will not believe where it's going to end up. So here we are, 2022, and then almost 2023. Okay, now Nishimura is starting to pick up the pace. And now it's gonna go shooting. It's gonna go shooting through the constellations. Watch this. And there it goes. It's shooting through the constellations. There we go. Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Just like that. It's incredible. And you will not believe it. So today is the 11th. So Nishimura 2023 is in the constellation Leo at the moment. And you will not believe what day it goes into the Virgo constellation. It goes during the 15th and the 16th. It enters into the constellation Virgo. The same time that the Feast of Trumpets takes place. The same time when the child in the constellation Virgo exits the womb. Now, look at what happens with Nishimura. Look at where it ends up. So it leaves the constellation Virgo, and it's moving, it's starting to slow down, it's slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, and then it comes to this point here, right at this section here, this constellation. The constellation of the, what's it called? The boat. here, Pupus. I don't know how to pronounce that. But it stays in this constellation, as you can see. So what is Pupus or Papus? I don't know how to pronounce that. It is the ark. It is the boat. And where is the... Now remember carefully. Remember the dog, because the Nishimura started in the dog constellation, right? And remember when I told you that if you throw a ball for a dog, the dog is going to go catch it, and he's going to bring it back to the master. So, where is the dog? The dog should be near the master then, right? Well, look at this. The dog is right underneath. I think it's right here. It's right here, right here. There we go. Canis Major. Here is Canis Major. The dog is right underneath the master. Here, the ark. Now, see it this way. Here's another way of looking at it. Dog, in reverse, is God, right? And a dog, I have always believed that a dog has the personality of God. Because no matter what, a dog will never leave you. It's always by your side. They love you unconditionally. They get excited every single time that you return home. Every single time. Even if you leave for 10 minutes, they are so excited that you are back. And that's exactly how God is. He's so excited when we speak to him, when we come back to him, when we have a relationship with him. Now, see it this way. God is moving, and he is moving through the constellations right into Virgo, where he collects his children and brings his children back to the ark. The ark, right here. Now I'm going to show you. Let me just pin Nishimura. Nishimura. Oops. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to go into the future, and you're going to see that Nishimura 2023 is staying on the ark. Staying on this boat. Watch. I'm moving into the years, into the future. 70, 80, 90, 2100, 2000. It's just staying there. It's just staying there. It's just staying there. So this could be the event of the rapture. And there was another channel. There was another channel that shows the pathway of Nishimura 2023. And it's basically like a hook. It goes and goes and goes, and then it shoots. So it makes this little curve, and then it shoots. And that reminds me of the dream that I had, where Jesus showed me in a dream 8 years ago. He showed me of the snake biting my arm, and he pulled out the snake, and I believe that was foreshadowing the event of the jab, because I was at university when it happened. I dreamt about that. That's in my video. Just go into my previous videos. I had made a whole video about that. But in that same dream, Jesus led me to a room in the university. There was this big table. He told me to turn over this cushion so that I can see the other disciples. And then when I did that, the other disciples appeared, and Jesus went to sit by the corner of the table, and he started talking about the rapture, and this hologram appeared by his hands. I didn't hear anything that he was saying, but when he was talking about the rapture, I saw the earth in this blue hologram as he was talking to his disciples. There was this blue hologram, and the moment that he did this, he did literally, he went like that, and then like that, literally in that same manner, in that same kind of like hook motion. He lift up his hand, and then shoo. With the moment that Jesus did that, when he did that, I saw these tiny little lights shooting out off the earth on that hologram. The hologram was literally showing tiny little lights like souls of people shooting up off of the earth into his hand. He literally snatched them out of the earth like that. And that is exactly how Nishimura is flying through Virgo into the ark. So I think there's a lot of signs happening here. There's a lot of confirmations. There's a lot of things happening, and I want you to, listen to this. Even if we didn't know about the Revelation 12 sign, even if I didn't have any dreams, even if I didn't have any visions, we know that there is one thing that points to the time that we are living in now, and that is the fact that the red heifers are ready to be sacrificed next year, Passover 2024. That is in itself the biggest sign indicating of the time that we are living in right now. And the reason why that is so significant is because next year, 2024, when the red heifers are sacrificed, it means that the temple area will be purified and they can start making plans to build the temple. But they don't need the temple to start the daily sacrifice. Immediately after the red heifers have been sacrificed, they can proceed with the daily sacrifice. And we know that it speaks about in the book of Revelation, oh wait, is it the book of Revelation or Daniel, that in the midst of the 7 years, the abomination of desolation will enter into the holy place, and he is going to put an end to the daily sacrifice. So the Antichrist is going to put an end to the daily sacrifices, which are starting next year, Passover. That in itself is a huge indication. Not to mention the SDG summit that's happening this September, that is a confirmation of their 2030 agenda. It's a 7-year confirmation. Like, how? Why do they need a confirmation? What kind of summit needs a confirmation? Why, they could have just continued doing as they're doing, continue their 17 or 19 goals that they have in place. They could have continued, but no, they need a 7-year confirmation. And the Bible literally says in Daniel that he will confirm a covenant with many. And we know that the SDG summit is made up of a multitude of companies, people, businesses, politicians, people all around the world. And literally, this is the only event where there are many people involved that is requiring a 7-year confirmation. Literally, we are in that period of time. These are the two biggest signs that we are in that period of time now, that we are in the end days. We have reached the end of the age. So much is happening, so many signs are happening. So I just pray that Jesus will take us out of the earth soon, because there's so much darkness. I don't want to be on this earth with this kind of darkness anymore. I don't want to have a future on this earth with this kind of darkness. Just the wickedness and darkness that I see popping in music videos, the satanic rituals in all the music industry, satanic rituals happening in America, open in the public. It's wrong, it's evil. I don't want any part of it. And there's this movie that, or I think it's a movie or a TV series, which is called, what's it called? End of the Children, or End of Days, or no, it's like Children's End or something like that. And it's just so sickening, because they're saying in this movie or TV series that the aliens which have come down, which literally looks like Satan himself, which is holding a little girl's hand and a little boy's hand, and this little boy and little girl are escorting him in front of the public, and it's just disgusting. It's disgusting, it's wicked, it's evil. We are in the time period. Not to mention the UFO thing. I mean, they have everything they have everything planned out. This entire UFO story that's happening, they have plans to say that the rapture will be because of UFOs. The UFOs took us out. That's their plan. That's why they decided to make the UFOs public, a public thing right now in this time period. You see, everything is lining up. Everything is lining up, and we just have to be ready and prepared. So who knows? Maybe I'll see you all at the end or the start of next week. It will be a great celebration. It will be the most beautiful time to be in the presence of Lord Jesus Christ. We may or may not. I'm not saying that the rapture will happen. I'm just saying we could. It is a very, very high watch period. Until then, be blessed, and hopefully, this is my last video. Hopefully. If not, then see you all again soon.